Okay, so welcome back to the 48 Ways of Wisdom with Rav Noach Weinberg's Sefer. We're on number 16, Miy'ut, Sechorah, minimizing business. This is actually one of my favorite chapters that I've read here in the Sefer. Really found it really interesting. That life is a lot like business. And if we have business experience, we should actually apply that business experience, not just to our parnasah and making money, but also to our whole life in general and how we live our life. And you can learn a tremendous amount from how a business operates, from the workers to the product to the work ethic that it takes to make a business properly function. So we can learn a lot from business in how to run our day-to-day lives efficiently as well. So let's get right into it. The word miyut is minimizing. So the obvious concept of when business and the rest of our life is that we can't let work control our life and take over our lives. We need to have a proper spiritual life. We need to make time to go to shul, to learn Torah, to to not be bombarded by thoughts of our work. We need to have a good, healthy spiritual life, which means we can't let work take over our lives, as well as a happy personal family life, personal life. We need to spend time with our families and take good care of ourselves so that we're healthy, exercise, things like that. And again, not let a business and our work take over our lives. So that's the first thing, is minimizing how much we work so that we're working enough so that we can we can make enough money to provide for our family, but we're living a healthy life so that we're spiritually healthy, so that we're physically healthy. So that's a big concept here. In addition to this, we have, there's a great example here. Okay, so because we sometimes, we become very smart in our trade, in our miktsah, in our business, and we actually do an impressive job of building a business or the way we work, and we think that we can't become great talmidei chachamim. But here's a good example. There's a midrash. Eliyahu Hanavi met a fisherman, and he asked him, "Do you study Torah?" And the fisherman said, "I'm just a simple man. I don't have intelligence for this kind of thing, understanding Torah. I wasn't blessed with this ability to learn." So Eliyahu says, "Tell me, how do you prepare your fishing nets?" And the man said, "It's I take the right rope and I have to weave it, and it's a very complicated process. It's hard work, but over the years I've perfected it so I can make these, strong fishing nets that allow me to catch fish." And then, "How do you go about catching the fish?" asked Eliyahu. "Oh, well, that's also very complicated. You have to know the time of the year, where the fish are, time of day, the type of fish you're looking for, the depth of the water." I've spent years mastering these traits, these concepts. So Eliyahu says to him, "Very impressive. You really know your business. Now tell me, who gave you this understanding?" The fisherman says, "The Almighty, of course. If the Almighty gave you the understanding to fish, then he surely would give you the intelligence you need to learn his Torah." So that's a cute little example of how sometimes we're able to do so much in our trade that we should really appreciate that, how much we're able to do and what we're good at. And we can totally use that as motivation to become great in Torah. It also takes very hard work to grow in Torah, and working on our midot and self-improvement. So we can all grow in that tremendously too. Even though there isn't the financial incentive, we want to get better in work because then we get a raise, and then we can make more profit, things like that. But as we know, learning Torah, doing mitzvot, working on ourselves, that gives us the greatest profit, the greatest schal, which is the, Olam Haba, vegam be'olam hazeh, also in this world, also in the next world. Okay, so another interesting concept here is a business has to operate efficiently. A business can't pay for lots of extra workers who aren't working properly, or to produce products slowly, or spend extra money on things, or fixing problems all the time. And business has to be very efficient, or else it just won't last. And we need to look at this efficiency and incorporate it into our lives. A big concept in this Sefer has been, how much time are we wasting? We need to make our time worthwhile. If we have just a few minutes, we can do a tremendous amount in that time. Read a little bit in those few minutes. Think about Hashem. Do a mitzvah. Help somebody. So much you can do in even just a little bit of time. So just as a business needs efficiency to survive, our lives need to be efficient and not be full of wasted time, wasted energy. Okay, so we need to be focused on good things, on kedusha, on working on ourselves, and on not being lazy too. So hard work. A business takes very hard work to run. Actually, so does all work. But the thing is, if you're an employee, you can kind of just go with the flow. The boss tells you what to do. It might be harder work, it might be easier work, but you just kind of follow orders. But if you're running a business, you really have to be very self-motivated. And the motivation has to come from you. And you have to know that if I don't get clients, and if I don't, improve the product, then this business is going to fail. And I have no one to blame but myself. So we have to have a lot of internal motivation. And we have to do the same thing in life. We have to always know, I have not been learning the way that I should be learning. I need to incorporate more Torah into my life. I have not been acting the way I should be acting. I need to do tshuva. And we need to always be, working hard to fix the problems in our business and problems in our life, so that we can always be growing. This is a nice example here. So a student shows up to university as a freshman and asks the head of the department, so when do I start getting paid? And they say, getting paid? Well, what do you mean? You pay us. Freshman says, what do you mean? I came here to become an engineer. Engineers make a nice living. Say, yeah, well, first you have to study hard. You have to pass your classes. You have to get the degree. Then you have to get a job. Then you have to put in a lot of energy and hard work, climb the ladder a bit, and then you'll be a very well-paid engineer. But you can't show up here the first day of school and demand a high salary. So that's kind of life is like that too. We can't just demand to be at the top, right away. We have to put in our work. We have to work hard. And little by little we improve, we become more knowledgeable. Don't expect to be the CEO the first day on your job. Okay, so let's see, planning. A company has to be very meticulous in its planning, especially when making investments. If a company is going to open up a new factory in China, they're not just going to say, decide to, okay, tomorrow we start building the factory. Well, they're going to start researching, where do you build the factory, where the worker is going to be coming from, is that the best place to build the factory, what kind of product am I going to be building in this factory, how big should the factory be, how much money should be invested in the factory. Lots and lots and lots of questions about this expansion to the business. So our life needs to be like this too. When we take on new things, when we try to grow and develop ourselves in new directions, we also have to have some planning by reviewing our goals and plans frequently and making necessary adjustments so that we can reach our targets. And we need to keep our eye on bigger issues as well, not get bogged down by the little things. What's my overall goals? Not just get through today. I need to do wash the dishes, clean the floors, not just like the tasks of the day, but like what's the bigger goal here? So we need to be always looking at the bigger picture. Sometimes, doctors, make a good living, but they also don't don't make any money for many years while they're in medical school and in residency, things like that. They spend many years investing in their future, where they're learning. Then they get their proper degrees, their proper training, and then they can go out and hopefully make a nice living, and their investment will pay off of all the years of schooling that they actually paid for themselves. So that's the bigger picture, is thinking, what am I doing right now, even though maybe it's not making me money now, or it's, not immediately benefiting me now, but maybe down the line it will. So that's a good thing to always think about. Accounting. A business needs to have a good accountant, keeping track of how much is being spent, how much money is coming in, how much is being paid to the workers, what's happening with the money. Things need to be accounted for, and we need to do accounting in our personal lives. We need to do what's called cheshbon hanefesh, where we look at ourselves maybe every night, not just on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, where we really look deeply into ourselves and say, I am thankfully doing a good job in the category of chesed. We're having a lot of achnasat orchim. So I need to keep that up, because it's a tremendous mitzvah. At the same time, maybe I'm weak in lashon hara, where I need to watch what I'm saying a little more. So really taking accounting of what needs to be, what we're strong at, what we're weak in, and how we can continue to be strong in our strengths and improve our weaknesses, so that we're always growing and doing self-improvement. So cheshbon hanefesh, that is just like being your own accountant on your actions in life. Okay, let's see. So companies are always doing research and development and advertising and things like that. They're always growing. You think a company like a massive company like Coca-Cola, right? You would think they've got this huge company all over the world. Why should they spend so much on advertising? People already know what Coca-Cola is and they love it. But no, the truth is these big companies spend more on advertising than anybody, because they need to keep their name at the top. And they realize that if you're not constantly advertising, people could forget about you. A new product could come out, or someone could advertise more, and then it destroys your company. So companies are always looking to grow and improve and become more efficient. And that's what we need to be doing too. Even if we were on a little bit of a high where we're feeling like, well, I've been doing good work recently. I've been learning Torah, my Miy'ut have been better. I've been learning in yeshiva. Don't get too cocky. Things can change very quickly, and we need to sustain and go higher. Go higher. We can always go higher. The biggest tzaddikim in the world can always reach higher levels. So that's very important. And just like a CEO of a business is always looking to, has a team of advisors that he's paying actually a lot of money. And they don't just say yes to everything he says. They give him a lot of criticism, and that's good. That's constructive criticism. That's why he pays these people. So we need to view ourselves like our own CEO, in that people will give us criticism, but it will hopefully, it's good for us, and we need the criticism so that we can improve ourselves. So just a quick review. Don't let business take over our spiritual and personal lives. Be efficient like a well-running business. Apply life skills to Torah study. We're strong in life to Torah study. Be careful and strategic in making life decisions, and be our own accountant and do a lot of cheshbon hanefesh, so that we can run ourselves like a business in a way that we can be efficient and always be improving, yet at the same time, don't let our actual business for earning parnasah take over our lives in a way that we lose out on our spiritual and personal lives. Thanks a lot, and we'll come back at you next time for number 17, Miy'ut derech eretz, marriage power.